Hello, and in this video I'm going to show you how to do Google Sheets pivot tables. Slightly different from Excel pivot tables. What I love about them compared to Excel is that they will update automatically, which is fantastic. I wish Excel would do that. Another difference is you can choose count unique, which is great. I'll show you that a bit later as well. All right, so here's how you look at a pivot table. A pivot table just basically aggregates data from an existing data set in various different ways using categories. So if I go to the raw data tab, here I have province, school level, school grades, how many are enrolled, dropouts by gender, when they were recorded, and some comments, etc. Now I can see that Siem Reap Primary School has a total of 347. And if I go to pivot table 2, it shows me 347 there. So it's just aggregating together that number. Now it's called a pivot table because you can chop and change it super duper easily. For example, I could take school level and throw that below province, and I can see it like this, the results in rows. I could even swap them around. So school level could be above province, and it shows it to me like this. I have a couple of options here. I can choose whether to show or not show totals, and I can choose whether to repeat row labels, look at column A, what it's doing, if I toggle that on or off. You can choose to add things, any one of the columns you have in your original table, in either rows section, or the column section, or the filters section, or the values section as well, but the values are a little bit different. The categorical data, i.e. any column where you have data that repeats itself, would go into rows, columns, or filters, and anything with numbers would go into values. So let's say that I want to add something new. I'm going to add gender into columns, and I have it showing like that. Let's say I want to add province into filters. I can choose what to filter. Let's only show Phnom Penh. As you can see, it's only showing Phnom Penh now. But where filters gets really useful is that you can now take it out of the row labels, because it's now showing me only the results for Phnom Penh, just like that. We're looking at enrolled numbers, but let me take that out and let's instead look at dropouts. Now, because dropouts are percentages, it doesn't make sense to sum them up. What makes more sense probably is to do an average or a median. Let's look at average, and we can choose average there. The other thing we can do is we can look at, let's say we want to know how many data points were taken. So let's say, for example, I want to know how many grades were taken. So I'm going to add the school grades there. Now, it's summing them up because the grades are numbers, grade 5, grade 6, etc. But it doesn't make sense to sum it, does it? What makes sense with text values is either count A or count unique. I'm going to do count A, and it's showing me there's 2 there. And I can prove that by showing that for each time there's male in each school type, there's 2 different grades. There's grade 5, grade 6 for male, female primary, secondary, etc. Now, if I want to take out gender role, it swaps to 4. But if I change summarize by to count unique, it drops to 2, because actually I'm repeating 5s and 6s like this. Again, this is a feature Excel doesn't have, and I really love it. I use it quite a lot. So that's what count unique does. Okay, so last couple of things. How do we actually create them? To create a new one from what you've already got is super duper easy. Just select the table like that, copy it, go somewhere else and paste it, and then you get a completely independent pivot table like this. Another thing that I like using whilst we're on this is show as, and you can use percent of grand total, so it shows you not the number but the percent that it's making up. The other way to create a new one, and the way to do an initial one, go to your raw data, select your data, go to data and choose pivot table. Create a new one, a blank one in a new worksheet. It has suggested ones here. You can do that directly if you want to. I normally do it manually. So let's say I want to see gender in columns, school level, and in values I can see enrolled. Like that. Let's add another one. Province over there. Let's take off the totals everywhere. Like that. And we're done. Alright, well, that's broadly it for pivot tables in Google Sheets. Thanks for watching.